Welcome back to the channel. This is a video of me installing brass portal knuckle weights onto the Beluga R1001, which I'm no longer going to call it that. I'm just going to call it the Beluga. That's the fake Traxxas TRX4, if anyone's not aware. Now, in the last video I did, which is a bit of a evaluation video, I said that I purchased because I incorrectly assumed that the portals on this vehicle were identical to the portals on the TRX4, and they're actually not. They are different. Didn't research it. I hadn't even pulled the tyres off to have a look. I just assumed they were. So I bought these, which are for a TRX4, and they clearly do not fit. So I got on AliExpress and I then purchased these, which if we look on the inside, they are clearly different. They're bigger. I hope there's no clearance issues with the wheels, but I'm about to find out. Now, they feel significantly heavier than the TRX4 ones that I purchased. So TRX4, they're off AliExpress as well. I'm not, I think it was BDXRC, maybe something like that. It's 94 grams. Now these ones, I can't remember the name of the shop that bought them off, but I will put a link in the description. But they feel heavier, and they are heavier, 111 grams. So it's another, what's that, 17 grams. So a little bit heavier. That's not that big a deal to me. Yeah, they come in just a plastic Ziploc bag, which I've taken them out of. There was no branding or anything on them, but they were a little bit more. The TRX4 portal weights, I think I paid about 15 bucks for. It's about Australian, about $10 US. These ones were like 30. So again, still cheap, about 20 bucks US, and I wanted them anyway. So I am going to whack these on. And now, I did say in the last video that I do like this rig. It is quite top heavy, so it does tend to flip back a bit. So I do have brass rings in the front wheels, and I don't have them in the back. So there's a little bit extra weight there. Got that off, yep. The battery, which is not in there at the moment, the 3S battery I put at the front here. So there is weight forward. The motor's obviously forward. So I'm putting as much weight forward as I can just to try and offset the weight of the body. And hopefully I don't go too far, but I'll do a running video later on. But in the meantime, I'm going to put these portal covers on. And I might just do these by hand, I think. I did say in the last video too, the plastic hexes were binding. The stub axle was not very long, and even these ones I put on, these are actually axial hexes that I actually had to drill out because the stub axle on this is a larger diameter. But even these, they're not a great fit. You can just, you probably can't see, but you can see there's, well, I can see there's rubbing. You can see where they've been rubbing on the portal covers. So actually, now I look at this, I was thinking that these will replace the portal covers, but now I look at that, I think they just go over the top. So I get this off. Actually, I'll make it a bit quicker and actually undo them with the driver. Now it does come with all comes with new screws, longer screws, which I'll show you in a minute. Now I'm pretty sure, yep, I added, because I took this off before because I thought I was going to put the TRX4 portals on, and so I whacked some grease in there while I was there. Now I think that, I figured this was a replacement, but yeah, it's not. Okay. Now, so standard screws that I've just pulled out are, I don't know, 15 mil long, something like that. And these ones are probably 20 mil long, or thereabouts, give or take. So, put that on. Now I'll just start them by hand. Not exactly a riveting video, I know, but I might even fast forward this bit because it's really unexciting. Oh, I really hope these don't rub, because when you look at that, it looks like it's going to rub, which is not going to be ideal. I'm not going to be able to get that in there. Pin in, and then hex. They're actual hexes, but I haven't got the grub screw in there to lock them in, because. Now this is going to be a big test. I'm going to be disappointed if this doesn't work. It works fine. There's clearance. It's all good. Oh, there's not. Is there? Oh no, it touches. Oh, that's really disappointing. Yeah, that's kind of locked in. That's really disappointing. All right, I'm actually going to stop videoing. I'm going to go through my kit and see. I've got about 2 millimeters left on the thread here. Oh, geez, I'm really disappointed. Probably fits with the stock wheels, which I have no intention of running, but that's locked on. I've got about 2 millimeters of thread left on the stub axle here, so I'm going to try a slightly wider hex, because that hex is not that wide, and I do have a fair few in the kit. If not, I do have some small extensions that then have a barrel nut that goes in to. It's hard to explain. I've got something that'll fix that. So, well, I should do. So, I'm going to stop videoing. I'm going to go through my kit, see what I can work out, and come back. Right, I'm back. It turns out I was having a bit of a mental blank. Now, the wheels do rub on the portal cover, so that is not why I had a mental blank. I had a mental blank because I was talking about getting wider hexes, and I do have some, but I don't think 2 millimeters is enough. Well, it might be, but I decided to hold on to that. Then I realized that I had a heap of these adapters that go on the back of the wheels, and so that's the one that are on the wheels now. This is that one. Some other ones I've got. I bought a heap of different sizes. So these are 9 mil, these are 12 mil. So I was going to push it out 3 mil, and now I've said that, hopefully there's enough. I could be a complete dumbass. Right, I'm going to put that on. Let me just see if that's going to work. I'm not going to put all the screws in just yet, just in case it doesn't. I still might have to go with those those extenders. Right, here we go. I'm about to find out if this works. these work. Oh, it feels good. It feels really good. I'm a dumbass. It doesn't take up more thread because it's kind of hard to explain, but anyone who knows these wheels knows what I'm talking about, because I kind of forgot. But when I changed to the different, I'm not sure if that's called a hub, and you can see the difference. So this one I've now put on is 3mm longer, wider, but the face in it where the nut goes down into is deeper, which means it doesn't take up any more of the stub axle, and now I've got good room there, so that's a win-win. Now the downside of that is it does extend out the track by 3mm each side, so 6mm, so I'm not sure what that's going to equal all up, but I'm going to put these other screws in now. Then I'm going to do the other side and work out exactly how wide I am. I'm not too fussed. As long as I'm somewhere between 250 and 260mm, I'm fine with that. Right, I'll now do the other side. Right, just doing the final tightening up of these. Screws, there we go, that one's pretty tight. And as you would have saw, I have put the extended hub on that. That's good. Right, and that should not bind. Huh. It does. Does that bind? I think that's actually the hex. I think, yeah. Yeah, I think that's actually the hex. I'm going to have to change the hex on that one. I think that one's actually a plastic axial style hex. Yeah, it is. All right, I'm going to pull that off and put a different hex on there, because I think it's just that plastic one. I said before, yeah, there's not much clearance on that stub axle. It's very short. So I'm going to do that, and I will be back. Well, now I'm back. Now, you won't know this, but it's actually tomorrow. This is actually the day after 20 seconds ago, what it was 20 seconds ago. I did nick off yesterday and actually go to work, and where I left it was the hexes were rubbing, and I'm not sure if I explained that properly, but I said the stub axle is short, and it is short, but what it actually is the pin is a long way in on the stub axle. So, and I spent about an hour last night trying to find some hexes, and I have a lot of hexes. So in my spare kit, I reckon I've got 12 sets of hexes of all varying widths, and none of them would go on here. Like they just, when you put it on, the pin goes into the hex too far, so that the scalloped bit on the hex is too deep, so it pushes too far over, and then it rubs on the portal housing. It's really frustrating. So I end up going through every single crawler I've got, and I've probably got, well, actually not even just crawlers, I went through every car, and none of them would work. And so I end up finding, I've got this crawler, it's an old Remo hobby crawler 2.2 inch thing I'd never used. I bought it with a bunch of other stuff, and I was at my wit's end. I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to, do something drastic. And then got that out because it's sitting in the back of the shed, and lo and behold, the hexes fit and they don't push back too far. So I now have all four wheels. They're completely fine. Now, if I use the axial hexes, that, the actual hexes that have like a little nipple on the end, and it goes up, the nipple bit goes and sort of locates the wheel. They're quite good. I don't know where my other ones went, because I had a heap of sets of those and I could not find them. I don't know where they've gone. I could only find one steel one, and that's what I had in the front, and that worked well. And then the rest of them were a plastic version of that, and they were no good. But I think if I had 4 of the axial hexes with the nipple bit on the end, I would have been fine, but I just couldn't find them. So I now have that done. Finally, it was actually really frustrating. So, yeah, now all of a sudden this moves really easily, which I'm starting to think, I thought I was having issues at one stage with the gear mesh and the motor, but I'm actually now thinking that, wasn't engaged. I thought that was fine. Yeah, okay, that still feels a bit smoother than what it was. I think I had some real issues with the hexes rubbing before, so yeah. Anyway, I'm finally there. So I've actually almost forgotten what I was actually doing in this video. I've put these brass portal covers on. Now the next thing, now it feels, it's a heavy rig, when you've got these fenders. And I mean the TRX4, which this is pretty much, it's a heavy vehicle anyway, and then you put the with the fenders on, they're quite thick plastic, quite sturdy, so it's quite a heavy rig, and it feels very front heavy now. So what I'm going to do is, just out of interest's sake, actually I need to put a battery on there. The battery would normally use is this Ovonic 3S 2.2. I'll stick that on there, and I'm going to just work out the front to rear weight bias with my highly expensive scale system. So now it feels really heavy, and now it feels really front heavy, so that's going to be interesting to see how that works. Right, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to see that in the video. This is my expensive, what's going on there? Is that flat? Oh no. Batteries are flat. That one's right. Zero that one. Zero. Battery low. Battery low. Right. I'm going to have a short intermission, and I'm going to whack some new AAA batteries in these other 3. I'll be back. Right, I'm back with fresh batteries. This is my highly scientific scale thingo to measure the front and rear weight bias. tyres, if I put that roughly in the middle, it looks something like that. So in the rear right, 594, is that right? Yeah, got about 600 grams in the back, on the back right, about 700 actually, that seems weird. All zeroed. So it's not that scientific. Yeah, so I've got about 600 in the back, about 700 over on this side, rear, 1100, 1050, and I actually cheated because I've already put this on and I've worked it out. So we end up with a front weight bias of 62%. Now right now I really wish I had have measured this before I started because I don't know what it was. Rookie error, that would have been nice to know before I started. Now those weights are 100 odd grams each, so I've added 200 grams to the front, so it's a fair bit, but I yeah, really wish I'd have measured that, but I'm not taking them off because I can't be bothered. So, but now I've got that rough, you know, that rough rule of thumb of 60-40. So I've got 62-38, which is pretty close. It's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned, I probably did, these tyres have the, what have they got in them? The pink or purple, I call them pink. The Formonda inserts that are, the outer's been trimmed, I think, on these. I actually can't remember. So they're fairly heavy inserts, and then the fronts have the brass rings for the 1.9 beadlock. So there's a bit of weight there as well. So the next thing to do is go and give it a go and just see how it works, because we did. There's other videos I've got. I might even, yeah, actually I might try and do that. I've got a video of how it performed without, obviously the portals on. So I might try and do some comparisons and see what that looks like. But I'm expecting it to perform a lot better. It's just the one thing I felt. It is top heavy, but I really felt that if I had some front weight, that it would perform a lot better. So I'll stop talking and I will go and do some running, and I'll put the running video up. So I'm not going to come back and talk anymore. Thanks very much for watching, subscribe, all that sort of stuff, and see you on the next video. And let's go to the running video now.